Mr. Bombal, we're on.
This is Hollywood. Your pal Matías Bombal with you. And from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, we have The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug in 3D, also available at an IMAX experience near you. The dwarves, along with Bilbo Baggins and Gandalf the Grey, continue their quest to reclaim Erebor, their homeland from Smaug the dragon. Returning in this Saturday afternoon serial-like segmented telling of J.R. Tolkien's original Hobbit story are Sir Ian McKellen, Martin Freeman, and Orlando Bloom. Benedict Cumberbatch voices Smaug the dragon. You know, I was going to give you one of my traditionally polished presentations, but I'm just going to break down and just give you the skinny on this movie. It's awful. It's just awful. Where to begin? Well, let's start with the computer graphics. The whole thing is computer generated, which means that the actors appeared in front of a green screen. All the stuff you see on the screen wasn't really there. And although that may be a sign of a great actor to be able to convey the emotion of their part without actually being able to see the surroundings in which they are performing, for us it just seems like an overly long, oversaturated video game. There's no pause, there's no time, there's also no connection to the original Hobbit story. I don't understand why the director, Mr. Jackson, has decided to segment this into 3 different movies. The length of this movie is 2.5 hours. In that time, you could read the original entire volume. I have the 1966 one I was enraptured with when I was a child. And then came the 1977 movie, which had some singular voices voiced those great parts which seemed embedded in my brain, even though that was an animated feature. And so seeing this, it was like watching a video game of The Hobbit, where the plot was so elongated to make a 2-hour movie out of the middle of this book that it just really fell apart. There's some great talent in this. I've mentioned their names, but it just really is no good. I mean, in 2.5 hours, you could read the whole original book, let alone have to sit in the theater and have your eyes sort of bleed from the overlong exposure to 3D. I just really wish the 3D stuff would stop. The best example of 3D was in a 6-minute short subject earlier this year, that wonderful thing from the Walt Disney Company called Get a Horse. You may have seen me review that. And it was great. That's what 3D should be used for. But 2.5 hours? I think not. You know, and Peter Jackson is a capable director. He gave us Heavenly Creatures and King Kong, which were really quite good. His remake of King Kong was really quite fetching. So what the heck is going on here? I just don't know. He does a cameo, a la Alfred Hitchcock, right at the beginning of the picture, where he comes out of a bar in the opening shot, chewing on a carrot and slightly inebriated. That may have been why the picture is the way it is. That's just a guess on my part. The best part of this movie for me was seeing the MGM logo in 3D. That was kind of a kick, being used to it only in classic films where it doesn't have those added dimensions. So it's my advice to save your money and go see Inside Llewyn Davis or Saving Mr. Banks, anything. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, is a real stinkeroo. This is your pal Matías Bombal bidding you a fond farewell. I don't always wear 3D glasses and read The Hobbit while drinking champagne, but when I do, it's Veuve Clicquot 28.